Today on Tea with Terri, I want to talk a little bit about a superpower that you have. And I don't know if anyone's ever told you that you have the superpower or if you recognize it as a superpower. But this is how I see it. I really think that it is one of our greatest superpowers, something that we don't often activate or engage with, but it's there and you have it and you can choose to use it. And the superpower that I'm talking about is your intuition. Now, every single one of us is intuitive. Your intuition will be stronger when you exercise it, when you practice it, when you get used to working with it, and when you trust it. So how do you do that? How do you go about trusting your intuition? It's a tricky one, right? Because we aren't even told that we have this gift. We aren't even told that we have the superpower. We are told that we have 5 senses, and that's it, that we are very physical beings. And when information comes in a different way, when there's just a deep knowing in our body, when there is a pull towards something, even though we can't explain logically why we're being pulled that way, we discount it. We don't trust it. And often we disregard it, and that leads us into trouble. So I would ask you if you've ever had this experience where you were thinking about someone and what do you know, the phone rings and it's them, right? What about if you step on an elevator and you press the button for the floor you're going to, and somehow you just know that it's going to stop at floors 5 and 7? What about when you walk in a room and you've just walked in, so you haven't even had the chance to look around yet and see all the cues from around you and people's body language and everything, but you walk in a room and you know something's off. You know something has happened here that just isn't right. Before you can even read anybody's body language. That's your intuition. All of these scenarios are your intuition speaking to you, trying to reach out to you, trying to connect with you, trying to give you information so that you can act in a way that is more in alignment with what your soul wants. So just like if you have a friend and they're calling you and they're leaving you messages and they're reaching out and they're sending you all these signals and they're trying to make a connection with you and you're just ignoring them. You're like, oh yeah, whatever. I'm not, I'll call later. I'll check in tomorrow. Just not paying attention to them. It's going to be hard to have a good relationship with that friend. It's the same thing with your intuition. When your intuition is constantly talking to you and your intuition is reaching out and sending you signals, the more you listen to that, the more you respond to that, the more you honor that, the more your intuition will activate for you, the more you will build a trusting relationship with your intuition, just like you would want to do with a close friend. So every time that you pass up the opportunity to follow your intuition and just drive to work a different way, even though you don't know why this came in, like, I got to go a different way. I don't know why, but I really have this strong sense, this very strong feeling that I'm not going to go my usual way to work. I'm going to go the other way. Every time you listen to that, you strengthen your intuition. And every time you disregard that, you weaken that connection that you have to trusting your intuition. Now, it's those moments when you then come home later in the day and you're watching the news and you realize that there was an accident on the road and that would have delayed you getting to work. And so you would have shown up late if you didn't follow your intuition. As you do this more and more, as you just go with your gut feelings and follow your superpower, which is your intuition, you will become better and better at working with the flow of your life, of doing what we consider right decisions. There are no right decisions. It's just easier. It's more in the flow. It's in the way of our soul's purpose and the way we're supposed to be living. It's in a co-creative capacity that we live our life when we trust our intuition and we follow it. And the more you trust it, the stronger it gets. It's just like a muscle. So the more you use a muscle, the stronger it gets. And the more you use your intuition, the stronger it gets. One of the greatest ways I know to strengthen your intuition is to do shamanic journeying. And when you journey shamanically, it's not your intuition necessarily that's talking to you. When you're doing this, you're entering into a slightly altered state, a shamanic state of consciousness, we call it. And in that state, your awareness is expanded beyond your five senses. So yes, intuition does come in, but so does information from your spirit guides, from source, from the land, from all of these other wiser sources. And if you do this regularly, you begin to trust. You may not know why you were told in a journey that the next path is for you to continue your education, whatever it is, but you trust it. And you know that, okay, this guidance came from someplace outside of my thinking brain, outside of my feeling body and senses. It came from a source wiser. It might be intuition, it might be spirit guide, it might be source itself. But that is the gift of a shamanic journey. The gift is the information that comes is truer than when we're trying to think through a problem or through a situation. And the gift is it strengthens your intuition. It strengthens your trust in knowing that there are other ways of knowing. So I just shout out of, kudos and encouragement to everyone who does regular meditation, because this will help in getting to that point where you can trust yourself more. And everyone who does shamanic journeying, because it's a really great tool to have in your toolbox for trusting yourself, for solving problems, for knowing things in a deeper sense. I'm offering a shamanic journey sort of beginner's class in January. It's a retreat here in Dutchess County. It's called The Path of Awakening. And you can learn more about it on my website, www.terrilundquist.com. In this workshop, we're going to be doing a lot of shamanic journeying. We're going to be doing the basic foundational work to open your intuition, to open your relationship with spirit guides, to open you to a different way of walking this earth, a different path, a path of awakening, a way of being more aware, enlightened, and spiritual in your everyday. So in this workshop, we'll be doing a lot of shamanic journeying. We'll be building altars. We'll be doing things that will connect you beyond this three-dimensional world, to connect you into the fourth and fifth and sixth dimensions. So I'd love to see you there. It's a workshop for beginners. Someone who's never journeyed before can show up at this workshop and we'll walk you through it. It's really very simple. It's also a great workshop for people who are more experienced and advanced and just want to go deeper. A weekend immersion in shamanic journeying is a fantastic life changer. It's a fantastic place to be when you are looking at making different life decisions, or, we will just have begun a new decade, 2020, and to be doing this in January, the second weekend or the third weekend, I think it's going to be on January 17th to the 19th. To be doing this work then at the beginning of this new decade, who knows what will come forth? Who knows what information you might get about a better way to live the next 10 years? So I'd love to see you there. You can find out everything about Path of Awakening on my website under the Events tab. And the website again is www.terrilundquist.com. Anyway, kudos to everyone who's already working with their superpower, their intuition. And if you haven't quite gotten comfortable with it, or you're not sure what it looks like or what it feels like, join me in the Path of Awakening workshop and we'll get you there. Thanks. Bye.